This is how you make sinigang, a popular Filipino dish. The first step is to boil your water. Once it's boiling, you can add your protein. I like to use beef chuck. You can also use pork, shrimp, or other beef cuts. Then strain the water and boil 6 to 10 cups of water. Next, add your tamarind package according to how much water you boiled. Less is more. You can always add more seasoning to your taste. Then add half a white onion, tomatoes, and jalapenos. Boil for another 5 minutes. Next, add your spinach. Then give it a good stir. Add a splash of fish sauce and some garlic and ginger paste. Measure with your heart. I personally like to add a little bit more garlic and ginger to my sinigang. Finally, add back your protein of choice and boil all together. Make sure to stir while this boils. And you're done. Serve over white rice and add fish sauce to taste.
What's up, everybody? This is Ahmed Humble, KPRC 2 digital producer. We're making butter chicken. Alright, so first I take the chicken breast that I've cut up into cubes and marinated overnight or until you lose patience. With a Shan Masala butter chicken seasoning packet, you can get it from any store. Mix it with olive oil and Greek yogurt to make it healthy and add extra protein. After sauteing the chicken in olive oil for a few minutes until it gets some color, add some tomato sauce. I use unsalted. Then let it simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes. Let those flavors just get to know each other. Fun fact, if I stopped right here, this would just be chicken tikka masala. But what we're doing next is adding the, you guessed it, butter. I'm using the fancy unsalted butter because I'm extra, and instead of heavy cream, I'm using a low-fat cream cheese. This helps the sauce thicken, but it's also a nice change and really gives it a tasty kick. It needs to have an orange color with a thick, saucy consistency. You can have this with rice or naan, but in this case, we're using rice. No, I don't have a rice cooker, so we're not using one. Take your washed rice that's been soaking for an hour or so and throw it in a separate pot. Add some unsalted butter and some cold water. Bring the water to a bubble, and once it's nice and loud, shut it up with a lid and add foil to create that extra steam. Let it sit on a simmer, completely covered for about 10 to 12 minutes, then use a rubber spatula to fluff it around. Again, you can have this with rice or naan, but the idea is to eat a ton of it. This would have been a great opportunity to garnish with some parsley or heavy cream to create a latte-style art topping, but I'm not a professional chef, so here's my healthy-ish take on the traditional Indo-Pakistani dish, butter chicken. Enjoy!
This is how I make tofu tikka masala. So I start with some neutral oil, and then I kind of get that hot. And once it gets hot, I'll add in my onions, and then I'll just kind of let that cook for a little bit. In the meantime, you can kind of like cut your tofu, get that all ready. And so you're just gonna go ahead and cook that down. You wanna wait till it kind of gets a color like that. And then you're gonna add your paste, your ginger and garlic paste. You can buy that from the store, you can make it yourself. Then cook that for just a little bit. You don't wanna cook it for too long. Then you're gonna add your tomato paste, and you can either grind your own or you can get a can like me just because it's easier. You're gonna mix that up and let that cook down just to remove the raw tomato flavor. Once it's cooked down and gets to like be brick red, you can fill your can up with some water just to remove any excess tomato sauce from the can and just cook that down until you like the consistency. Then you're gonna add your seasonings, and you can buy a blend, but I make my own. I add turmeric, garam masala, cumin, and salt. And then once that cooks down, you can add your heavy cream or half and half or non-dairy milk, whatever you'd like. Then I'm just gonna mix that up. And then once I fully mix it, then I'm gonna go ahead and add my tofu. Now you can either bake your tofu ahead of time, fry it, or you can just put it in raw like I do, and I just cook that down because it really doesn't need much cooking. And then you can plate it, and you can add some cilantro or whatever toppings you'd like, but I like to have mine with rice.